Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back with another movie review. And today I'm going to be reviewing Incredibles 2. Sorry if it's late, I've had a lot to do. So, we're just gonna dive right into it. But before we talk about Incredibles 2, warning, there are spoilers in this movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, click off this video now and go see the movie and then come back. Just a heads up. Before we get into it, though, I would like to recap the first Incredibles movie. The first Incredibles movie that was made back in 2004 was awesome. It starred a loving but short-tempered man named Bob Parr, better known as Mr. Incredible, played by Craig T. Nelson, his wife Helen, or aka Elastigirl, played by Holly Hunter, their teenage daughter Violet, their 10-year-old son Dash, and their infant son Jack. And then, in the movie, Mr. Incredible recently gets fired from his job. And then he has this task from an island where he has to fight this robot called the Omnidroid. Of course, he defeats it, and then he goes back to the island, and then it all goes wrong when this villain named Syndrome, or Buddy Pine, played by Jason Lee, tells Mr. Incredible that he wants to use that robot to get rid of all supers, once and for all, so then no one would be super. And it's up to the family. They have to team up in order to defeat Syndrome and the Omnidroid. But yeah, that's the first movie for you, in a simple summary. Now that I got that out of the way, let's move on with the review. Incredibles 2 picks up where the first movie left off, with the rise of the Underminer. So, the Incredibles are off fighting the Underminer. He gets away, and then the Incredibles end up getting arrested. All because they did something super, and supers are still outlawed in this case. The Incredibles have to get ready to move out once again. Then they meet their friend Frozone, or Lucius Best, played by Sam L. Jackson. He was in the first movie as well. He tells them about this secret agency that wants to bring superheroes back. Bob likes the idea, but Helen isn't too sure about it. She's very skeptical. Of course, Bob talks her into it, and they go off. And then they talk to this guy named, I forget his name, and his sister Evelyn. And they talk about how they want to bring supers back. And so basically, they choose Elastigirl to promote it. At first, Mr. Incredible's all skeptical about it, but Elastigirl just gives him a dirty look. Mr. Incredible promises to take care of the kids. Meanwhile, Violet is having some trouble with her crush Tony from the first movie because Bud Lucky decided to corrupt Tony into not knowing who Violet is. And then this makes Violet very upset, and she's going through the fact that she can't be with Tony. That's like a little side story. I liked when Bob had to take care of the three kids. That part was just too funny. And Jack discovering his powers. My favorite scene was when Jack was fighting the raccoon. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. He was just beating the hell out of it. And then, of course, Mrs. Incredible has to stop this villain called the Screenslaver, who hypnotizes people with TV/computer screens. Elastigirl meets these other superheroes, whose names I forget. But there's this one hero with blue hair, who's able to, sorry, my memory of Incredibles 2 is a little rusty, so forgive me if I forget any names. But anyway, as I was saying, the hero that's able to go to different dimensions and whatnot, that's able to teleport. I feel bad. Hold on, I'm actually going to look up the hero's name. Void! That's the one. Void is a big fan of Elastigirl. And, so they talk for a little bit. And then you see Elastigirl talking with Evelyn. They're just talking about Screenslaver. Elastigirl comes up with a plan to stop the Screenslaver. And she goes with that plan, and it works. So she manages to capture the Screenslaver, but the Screenslaver does put up a good fight. Helen was trying to fight the Screenslaver with her eyes closed, so it was a tough battle. But she ended up supposedly capturing the Screenslaver. I'll tell you why I said supposedly later. But anyway, she captures him, and it turns out to be just a pizza guy that delivered pizzas. At first, everything's okay, and then Elastigirl realizes maybe there's more to this than just a pizza guy. And as she's about to reveal the plot twist, Evelyn knocks her out. And that's when we get to the plot twist. Evelyn was the Screenslaver this whole time. Basically, he was a character that she created. While Syndrome was misunderstood and he just wanted to be the only super, Evelyn wants to get rid of superheroes once and for all. So she brings these devices, these goggles, to corrupt Mrs. Incredible, or Elastigirl. So then she calls Mr. Incredible to tell him that his wife is in trouble. He goes right up there, gets Frozone to watch the kids, and then he goes to help. And then Helen tricks Bob into put the glasses on him and then corrupt him, turn him evil. And then Evelyn sent her other corrupted heroes to get Frozone. He, along with the kids, try to fight them off. Violet, Dash, and Jack-Jack get out okay, but Frozone is captured and corrupted. And now they're on a cruise ship with all the superheroes, and Winston, that's his name, Winston wants to declare that that all supers are legal, and then Evelyn just comes up with a plan to take over, and then she tells the corrupted Helen to tell the audience that superheroes are bad. So she does, and basically everyone gets all scared and whatnot, and then the kids sneak into the ship. They end up fighting everything off, with basically Jack-Jack doing most of the work with all his powers. So they get there, and Jack-Jack ends up uncorrupting Elastigirl by ripping the glasses off her when transforming into that red monster, basically. And then Elastigirl uncorrupts Mr. Incredible and Frozone, and then they work together to fight the corrupted superheroes. Then we get to the final climax between Helen and Evelyn. And Evelyn's just flying high, and she has this oxygen mask on, and Helen is just losing oxygen. She is literally losing oxygen. So the plane ends up exploding, but not before Helen and Evelyn jump out to safety. And then Helen catches Evelyn and uses herself as a parachute, but then Evelyn just kicks Helen in the face, so then she falls into the water. Meanwhile, Mr. Incredible, along with the other supers, try to stop the boat from crashing into the city. They do that successfully. Evelyn ends up getting arrested for crimes, and then Void becomes a big fan of Violet after they fought in a previous scene, and then the government declares that supers are legal again, and everyone lives happily ever after afterwards. And that was Incredibles 2. And what did I think of it? It was amazing! Yeah, it was just as good as the first, if not better. It was on par with the first, and I really liked it. The only problem I may have had with it was the fact that Violet, Dash, and Jack-Jack didn't age. But the movie took place in the 60s, so can't really complain that much. So yeah, overall, it was a really good movie. But yeah, that's gonna have to wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe for more, and if you've enjoyed it, leave a like, and until next time, I'll see you in the next one.